Kia ora, everybody. It is Heather here from Love Literacy, and today we are doing another phoneme grapheme correspondence. And today we're going to look at this one, P and H. Now, this particular phoneme grapheme correspondence is a little bit of a tricky one. Um, Me personally, because I teach intervention, I often teach this with my digraphs. But if you're at school and you're following a set scope and sequence, you may not be teaching this with your diagrams. You may be leaving this until year one or end of year one, perhaps the beginning of year two. But we'll break this down a little bit and take a look. So here we are, PH sound pack, and I'll link the sound pack obviously in the show notes. And of course, we have the handy whiteboard and the handy pen. And the reason I might not have talked about this, but the reason that I work with a whiteboard and a pen is that I like my students to see me doing the work. I'm not a fan of using a video or anything like that. I like them to see me doing the work as well. But I guess it really depends on where everybody is at with their learning journey, on how comfortable they feel creating the script themselves. So whenever I'm teaching this, I have a little bit of dialogue that I use, and I always say, today I'm introducing you to a new sound and spelling, and today I'm going to teach you about this digraph here. Now, when P and H come together, they represent a new sound. And I specifically let students know that this sound sounds like our letter F, which is a nice unvoiced sound. Now, here's the thing. Um, this is actually quite a complex sound, but it is really, really good for students to learn how to read this early on, because it actually makes up quite a bit of language that they will come into contact with and be seeing as they move through school. Now, here we go. We can start off with a few easy words, and a lot of children might know these words already in their vocabulary. So, for example, oh, I don't normally like to do capitals, but here we go. For example, our word graph, where our PH is sitting at the end, our word phone, and chances are all kids know the word phone, and photo. And again, chances are most children will know the word photo. So graph, phone, and photo. Now, there are a couple of words where we've got the PH sitting in the middle, and they're quite common words as well. Dolphin, elephant, and trophy. And now I'm just thinking about that spelling. So just 1 second. Okay. Okay, that spelling is right. For some reason, I looked at it and I was just like, oh, that doesn't look right. But anyway, here we go. And trophy, where the PH is sitting in the middle. Look, at the end of the day, you might not be teaching these as spelling words to year two, end of year one and year two. But it's always really good to show that this digraph is in words. Now, one of the other things that I like to do is because graph, phone, and photo are all quite common, I like to show how these ones fit together. So, for example, photograph, I like to put together. So, photo and graph is photograph or photography. Okay, and then you can also, if you want to, work with phone and put telephone on there as well. So the other really interesting thing about Digraph PH is that it's literally a gatekeeper for more academic language. So it's basically going to be seen in more higher level language as students move through school. So for example, in maths, we have our graph. For example, in science, we will of course have photosynthesis. And in English, we might have a metaphor. So as we can see, we are starting to have our PH appear as a gateway to that more academic vocabulary. And the earlier we can get students reading this, the more we can open up their reading language. So there we go. There's a brief introduction to pH. And look, the next time that you see a photo or a phone, that's a really great way to introduce this. We don't introduce it too early on, perhaps end of year one, early year two. In intervention, I'm working with a lot of students year three and up, so it's a natural progression for us to take a wee look at this. And the sooner that you can get students understanding that the P and the H together are then the easier it is going to be for them writing, and also understanding that as you move through subjects, academic language really opens up with our pH digraph. Let me know what you think. Was that useful? Did I miss anything? Do you have anything else to add? Please do let me know. I'm always interested to know in the comments. Thank you.